Okay, guys, this is the start to my video. This, again, it's not going to have any structure, but I'm just going to take you through everything that I've been researching in the last, well, today, actually. Today being the 10th of September. There's a lot of information out there at the moment relating to the Arcade Go video. The Bible is absolutely crazy, but let me start. Uh, where to start? Not there. Okay, let's start here. So, first of all, I just wanted to point out in the Arcade Go video um, that you've got the, well, what I'm interpreting as, everything I'm saying is my interpretation. It's not to be taken as, law or prophecy. But this is, I believe, is the hand of God. And here we have just the finger of man. This is the same interpretation we have from in the creation of Adam, the painting that is, I can't remember which cathedral it's in. Or something, I can't remember. But anyway, this picture is well known. It's an image on the ceiling of one of the cathedrals in Rome, and it's the image of God reaching out to man. What I've always found striking about this picture is God is reaching out his arm fully extended right to the tip of his finger, whereas man is reaching in an extremely lazy way, just not quite reaching out to God, but God is reaching out to man. So that was my first point from the iPad Go video. The second point I wanted to make is actually on the Apple scene, which I've already commented on in my last video. But looking at this has been pointed out already. These markings on the floor. Now, nothing in this video is there by chance. Everything is placed in this video for a reason. Extremely well detailed. Something like this is not a mistake or just scuff marks on the floor. What I think it is actually Roman numerals, X followed by 1, 2, 3, 4, and a line that goes across the 4, which is representing 5. To me, that says 15. 15 of what or when, I don't know. But considering we're in September and we've had Hurricane Harvey, Hurricane Irma, Hurricane Jose or Jose, the earthquake in Mexico, and the wildfires that are currently raging all across the United States, I think this month is particularly active. What the L stands for, I don't know. I've interpreted it as possibly meaning location or LA. I don't know. That's another interpretation of mine. The C could be representing California, or it could be a crescent moon. Again, I don't know. The L could actually be a 7, which could represent 2017. Again, I don't know. These are just interpretations. You've got the apple, which I've commented on in my last video, when the apple is actually dropped by the girl in the circle, which actually I'll come to in a minute. Come on, don't do this to me. There we go. I believe the circle is actually representing Earth. The little dot outside that we see here, as well as the little dot that we see outside here, I think is, now I've been very skeptical of the story of Nibiru, but before I get to that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and we stop just before we get to 8. Now, I've interpreted that as Apple, the actual iPhone, it's so known and so many people have the device, such a large company. I think they're actually saying here, again, it's another interpretation. There are many out there that something, a larger event is to be taking place just before the release of the iPhone 8. Now, that's not before the announcement of the iPhone 8, but before the actual release actually goes on sale. Um, I don't know, because when I'm looking at this, there's all sorts of information just in this one section of the video. Um, the foot here, Obama's foot. The only thing that I could come up with for that is that Obama is a size 12. Now that could be meaning 12 o'clock UK time. Now whether that means that something's going to happen in the UK, I don't know, or if that just means it's 12 o'clock UK time, which would be 7 o'clock Eastern. I think, yeah, 7 o'clock Eastern time. Um, Again, that's just another interpretation. I really don't know anymore. There's too many interpretations of this video. Again, there's 12 people here that could represent so many things: the disciples, the original members of the EU. It could again represent, time, 12 o'clock, or it could represent 12 different locations, or 12 anything. I really don't know. The dot outside here, the whole Nibiru thing, where there's a prophecy, the Bible actually, that talks of the Virgin with 12, the crown of 12 stars and the moon under her feet, giving birth pains. Now, obviously, when she drops the apple, it rolls down her middle part here, which is, obviously where where a baby would come from. I'm not saying the apple's a baby, but in these kind of interpretations, you really don't know. Now, this could be the 12 stars on the head and the moon under the feet. The Nibiru prophecy is basically suggesting that on September the 23rd, the sun will go dark for around, I think is it 3 days or 3 hours? One of the two. And then we'll be crossing through this large planet's outer rings, which is made up of, can't remember, sulfur and ice, I believe it was. So that could be portraying that particular event. To be honest, we really don't have that long to wait, so it's not as if we're looking at like next year for this to happen. This is all kind of prophesied for this year, so we'll see what happens in that time. Let's move on quickly because I don't want this to be a extremely long video. So here we have, back to what I was saying about the Apple. Apple is closing one of its retail stores in the Simi Valley in California. That's going to take place on the 12th of September. Sorry, the 15th of September. Their announcement is in California as well on the 12th of September. Now, considering I believe that the Roman numerals on the floor are marking the 15th, and Apple rolling across, not quite reaching 8, and you're on 8, could be an interpretation that something is due to happen around September the 15th or shortly thereafter. I just looked up where, obviously I'm not from America, so I looked up where the Simi Valley is, and it's, basically here in LA. Again, you've got the L on the ground in the iPad Goat video. I don't know if it represents LA, because usually LA is represented by the L and the A, but I'm not sure. Moving on, I was then looking at Hurricane Irma, and in my previous video, I can't remember if it was the last previous, the one before that, I was saying that there may be a nuclear attack during a hurricane, and I found it quite ominous to hear shortly after I'd made that video that the mayor was calling the mayor of Miami was calling this hurricane a nuclear hurricane. Let's have a quick listen.
For evacuation right now, and he has called Irma a, quote, nuclear hurricane, and it feels like that for the islands that have been in its path so far. Philip Levine is the mayor of Miami.
So, nuclear hurricane, I really don't know. Considering this is all the way that my brain works, so I'm just linking things together. Considering that the iPad Goat video, I believe, showed in Roman numerals the 15 on the ground, and then you've got Apple closing one of its stores on the 15th. And then when I've been getting into this gematria business, this Jewish gematria and English gematria, and stuff is quite new to me. So all I did was type in 1509 to represent the 15th of September. And I've got all these different phrases like underground caves, evil 11, the Lord's Day of Tribulation. I like killing people because it's so much fun. What actually stuck out at me was not like Putin, but Mr. Vladimir Putin Christ. It was actually a little bit further down. One thing I did also notice was the fake Barack Obama is George W. Bush. Now that's kind of it's funny because obviously in the video we have George W. Bush morphing into Obama. I hate the sound of this. Hurry up and morph. Okay, it's coming. There we go. So that kind of jumped out at me when I saw that in the Jewish Jumanji list. Like, fake Barack Obama is George W. Bush. Obviously, I don't believe that someone can morph from one thing to another. But it was interesting. What really stood out to me, I don't know why, was the King Obama Miracles December XXI. Now the XXI is representing the 21st, and the MMXII is actually representing 2012. That date has passed, and that was obviously the old date that people predicted the Mayans, or people say the Mayans predicted the end of the world on that date, 21st of December 2012. Regardless, I decided to search for it anyway, just the Roman numeral part of it. It didn't actually lead me to a Wikipedia page or anything like that, which is what I was thinking it would do. Instead, I've got these random pages, which suggest to me that maybe that's not how you actually write the 21st of December 2012. Either way, what stood out to me was the Buried by the Earth. Now, this is an album by a group called The Perversionist. Never heard of them myself, and when I researched them, I found that they have a hidden track on their album, which is number 7 on the album. And I'm not sure if I saw it here. There it is, yeah. So hidden track XXIMMXII. Hidden track 6 minutes and 5 seconds. Now I've been unable to actually play that on what I'm doing right now. So I would suggest anyone who's got Spotify, type this into Spotify and listen to it. Basically, the track is one of those heavy metal, crazy, I would never ever listen to this screaming kind of track. But at the beginning, it's actually got the quote from the movie 9, about the ragdoll thing, and it's the quote. I don't actually think let me quickly search it now. 1 second, please. Of course, it's not going to be that easy to find on the one. Anyway, I'll try and add the track onto the video at the end, and you can hear basically what it's saying. It's pretty in the movie 9. It's pretty ominous, but hearing it on a track like that, just coming out of nowhere, was quite interesting. The group originally released their album in 2011. Excuse me. But it was re-released in 2017, so I found that quite interesting. Moving on, obviously we have the iPetGo video. I'll be coming back to that. We've covered that part already. So the next part that came out to me was years ago. I was watching this video and I was putting, because I think, I don't know about anyone else, but I think Beyonce is part of the Illuminati, and or whoever she's a part of. But I think artists like this that have such a huge platform used to convey the message across to us or to members of society, whatever society that be. There's so many of them, you can't really tell who's doing what. But again, I've just noticed that the actually grabs the back from this kid here. You've got the kid wearing the t-shirt with the number 15 on it, and in the background, this kid is actually holding an apple. Strangely enough, and the let me just take it back a little second so you can see. So yeah, let's play it a little bit. Probably get copyright, so I'm not actually going to play it. She looks evil. Anyway, the kid is holding an apple. You can see just here. Obviously apples, $2.99. He's holding the apple, but he never actually gives it to to the market person, the market seller. He actually just holds the apple as if he's going to buy it, and he just stands there with the apple in his hand. Um, let's see if I can get away with playing just a touch of it. I hate the internet. It never plays when you want it to. Anyway, maybe we'll get that playing, maybe we won't. But basically, the kid in the black shirt was wearing the number 15, and the kid in the red shirt was wearing the number 9. And the kid in the red shirt wearing the number 9 was also holding an apple. So that's basically what I wanted to convey on that part. Let's move on. So the next part I was looking at is obviously because there's a hurricane called Jose. I was looking at San Jose in California because I believe that California is one of the destinations or one of the locations that something's going to happen. Something to do with an earthquake. Now there was an earthquake just down here, a little bit further down off the coast of Mexico. Now that prompted news reporters to suggest that there may be an 8.2 magnitude earthquake on the way, which I'll get to. Maybe it's on this tab here. Nope, that's the divers places. Okay, no. So let's go back to where I was. All right. So yeah, I think something maybe around San Jose, maybe around LA, basically in the California area. I think that something's going to happen. The idea that I've had is that in the IPEC Got video, when Obama is laughing, hopefully it will let me play it. Yeah, you've got the LOL here. Some people have remarked that that could actually mean 101, which could be the 10th, or sorry, the 1st of October or the 10th of January, but it could also be linking to Route 101. It may be a bit of a stretch, but Route 101 runs the entire length, almost identically, to the San Andreas Fault. Now, if, for example, there is work going on along Route 101 or anywhere near it, heavy drilling, they could essentially place nuclear devices into the ground near San Andreas Fault, detonate them, and cause a massive earthquake, which has the potential to actually split the Earth, not the entire Earth, but split the Earth where the San Andreas Fault runs. That ties into the Illuminati card run out of time, or the tapes run out. You can research that yourself. I haven't actually got it on screen to show you, but I found it interesting that one runs the entire length of the San Andreas Fault, and then you've got an earthquake just popping off the coast of the news saying that California's an 8.2 magnitude, or bigger. I then obviously researched if there has been any, loud noises, loud booms in the California area, and yeah, there has been. This was from last year. Some Californians have been left wondering why they feel their neighborhood shaking, and yet no earthquakes or sonic booms were being recorded. This could be due to drilling. Again, I don't know, but it's not too far of an assumption um, that could be done. The reason for that would be, I think, to actually start a war with North Korea or Iran, to say that they're the ones who basically got California, and then to go after them and start World War III. Um, it all seems a bit far fetched, but there's so much information out there. You just don't know what's right and what's not. Here was the news story from the LA Times, that California could be, sorry, go back up a little bit. California could be hit with an 8.2 magnitude mega earthquake, and damage would be catastrophic. Yeah, that is pretty much what would happen. That kind of took me to the San Andreas video, official trailer. Let's have a look at what potentially could happen in LA, California. Sorry about the quality. I'm just going to take a little step back to when she's on the floor, because I've just noticed that. Oh, so go back again. She holds her ear there. Now that's not something you usually get from an earthquake. Your ears popping. That's something you would normally get from an explosion. So, I don't know.
Are you hurt? Are you hurt?
People need to know that the shaking is not over. We'll get hit again. And it's going to be a bigger monster.
Can you imagine?
Oh my God.
The Earth will literally crack open.
And that's what I was kind of
feel it.
referring to when I was saying that the earth would kind of crack open. That kind of leads me back to the iPad Go video. Well, not quite yet actually, because what I have been researching is, actually I'll get to that. Let me just go to the video. So in the actual iPad Go video, when you come outside of the school, this is where we have the flag of the United States, which has kind of been ripped off, and only one star has been ripped off. Now there is rumors, well, they're not rumors, they're actually true, that California has been trying to secede from the Union, which is basically, separate itself from the United States because of Donald Trump. Actually doing a bit of research into that. Let's see if did I keep the page? Okay, maybe I didn't keep the page. But basically, if California did succeed from the United States, the Republican Party wouldn't be too upset about it, because California counts for a lot of the Democratic votes. And in fact, if California was no longer part of the United States, the Republican Party would be able to get things like the Obamacare plan through. Immigration won't be a problem. They basically have the control that they want for the United States. And that's if California was to secede or somehow become not part of the United States. as in maybe it's so uninhabitable that no one lives there anymore. You know, I don't know. Again, it's just a guess, but you can see where I'm going with this. I then did a bit of research just to find out if placing a nuclear device inside San Andreas or close to it would be able to set off an earthquake. And this Alan E. Hall, owner at Aerospace Engineering, I don't know what the rest stands for, properly positioned at depth, it could trigger a large earthquake. Man-made earthquakes are not all that uncommon. Fracking has made the news dozens of times for all the resulting earthquakes. Another big earthquake generator is building. There have been many earthquakes caused by the heavy depression of a new man-made reservoir behind a several 100-million-ton dam. Globally, there are over 100 identified cases of earthquakes that scientists believe were triggered by reservoirs. The most serious case may be the 7.9 magnitude 1 earthquake in May 2008, which killed an estimated 80,000 people and has been linked to the construction of the Zingapingpu Dam. Zipingpu Dam, that's it. So it is entirely possible that that could happen. My research has led me all over the place. So then this is why I was researching Hurricane Jose, and the track of Hurricane Jose is interesting. Another YouTuber has already made a video about this, what sort of, but I'm just gonna type in path to New York. And here we have a video on YouTube, posted only 2 hours ago.
You've got Hurricane Jose, is that correct?
Right. Oh, yeah, you're looking at 3 hurricanes right now. So there's the satellite. All the way on the left, that's Katia. That's being dealt with in Mexico, so we don't have to worry about that. Then you've got Irma, that's the big one in the center. And then over on the right, that is Jose. Jose is a Category 4 storm.
This one intends to...
It's kind of moving a little to the north.
I've never heard of this website, but I am going to go check it out afterwards. Ventusky. Here we have the path of Jose. And its projected path takes it right up the east coast. Coast to North Carolina, South Carolina, and off into New York. Unfortunately, with the increase in these wind patterns over here, this particular line will blow it straight into New York. And obviously, this is a very striking image. As my fellow YouTuber, JK Buggett has pointed out in the actual IPEC boat video. Just take a trip back to it. Just after this part here. That, let's take a little step back. Just play a little bit. they have the image of the Eiffel Tower, Statue of Liberty with the hurricane above. And then we take a trip down, I don't know where it was. Here? Nope. So, I mean, the image is strikingly similar, you know, hurricane system, Statue of Liberty. What can you say about it? You know, it looks as if naval warfare is actually being used on America. It's not normal to have 3 hurricanes make landfall, one after the other. The news has just been by it. And that's the reason why I'm kind of drawn away from the hurricanes, because they're covering them so much. I'm wondering what else is going on that we should be knowing about that we're not hearing about because these hurricanes. And that kind of leads me back to the Nibiru or meteor or asteroid or whatever could be heading directly for us, coming from behind the sun, which makes it incredibly hard to see. Some people say that they saw something on the eclipse on the 20th of August coming from behind the sun. But again, I don't know. I don't have a telescope to actually search myself. You know, I could. The lights in London would not help with viewing anything up in space. That video, Irreplaceable, I was watching because this is a performance she done in LA and she seems really emotional while she's there. But let's close that one. That's, I feel, not relevant. What was on this page, I really don't know. Let's take a step back. Maybe it's something I was searching before. Oh yeah, I was just searching Apple in California. Obviously, they're closing down there, so let's move on. I've already shown you the San Andreas video, so let's move on from that as well. This was another interesting thing. This is where I got into the earthquakes from the Bible, earthquakes in diverse places. Let's take out John 3. It's actually mentioned in Luke, Matthew, and Mark. Nation rising against nation, kingdom against kingdom, famines, pestilence, and earthquakes in diverse places, or diverse meaning various places. When we actually look here, we know that earthquakes happen all the time, but there was an earthquake in Mexico, then shortly after, an earthquake hits Japan. If this is the time that's, you know, prophesied for the end, then I would expect another earthquake not too long from now. That could be the earthquake in California with the actual San Andreas fault line there. Whether that will be a natural earthquake or one that has been kicked off by a nuclear explosion, I really don't know. We're coming to the end of my train of thought. What was I looking at on this page? Oh yes, again, so just looking at Hurricane Irma and the fact that it's taking up so much news. I don't know what to make of it all, to be honest. So, just a quick rundown of expectations. I'm interpreting from all of this is basically, I believe that the IPEC video is a timeline of events. It's not one event, it's multiple events. From where we're showing the map on the wall for the BP oil spill and the 9/11 attacks to the hurricanes that we're seeing now, to the rise of Islam against Christianity or Catholicism, which is what I believe this particular part of the video is showing, where he's raised his arms. These particular people in the background are all wearing the hooded black cloak, which is, well, it's not called a cloak, but yeah, they're wearing hooded black outfits, which are quite similar to the Ku Klux Klan as well as army in Iran. So the fact that we have both of those entities kind of in play at the moment, I don't know, leads us somewhere. Yeah, that's pretty much where my mind's going. I think that something's going to happen in California. Hurricane Jose looks like it will be heading for New York, which would, tie into this video and into the interpretations of YouTuber JK Bugger and others. While a lot of focus is on the east coast of America, I feel like we're being drawn there by the media to the east coast of America, while unsuspectingly something may happen on the west coast of America. I've already covered the fact that North Korea has a plan to launch a nuclear missile on or around the 12th of September. It could be delayed a little bit further, because apparently on the 12th of September there'll be a solar storm, which may affect the geomagnetics and the electronics of some of the equipment, so they may not fire then. They could fire 3 days later on the 15th, or any time before or after then. Dates I don't like giving, because when you're wrong, you feel like crap, to be honest. All that researching and you are wrong, but at the same time you feel good, because obviously nothing happened, and the things that we're looking into are not small things. These are thousands, millions of people's life and history. Why can't I say these disasters that will end multiple lives? And believe that rather than trying to prophesy when these things are coming, we are trying to warn people that these things may be coming, and to keep eyes and to not be surprised, shocked, or lied to, basically, when things do happen. The quality of the research that's taking place across YouTube and across different platforms is quite amazing. The different interpretations that people have. I don't think any of them particularly up wrong. I think every video I've watched, I've agreed with the aspect of the interpretation, and then gone on to my own interpretation. My actual focus is on California at the moment. Seceding from the United States, possibly represented by the one star on the flag that was ripped off and flown away into the distance. iPad got video. Where Apple is launching or doing an announcement in California the 12th, and closing one of its stores in the Simi Valley on the 15th. I think is all relevant. So, as I said, we're long to wait. The 12th is 2 days away, the 15th is 5 days away, the 23rd 13 days away. So whatever likely to happen within those couple of we've only 2 weeks. So I'll suggest you prepare, not just physically with food, lights, generators, stuff like that, but I also suggest you prepare spiritually as well. Get your people read it, try and get closer to God, because regardless of whether these take place now or they take place in the future, they seem likely to take place. The nuclear war seems likely to take place. Earthquake in California is likely to take place. Another in New York is likely to take place. So rather than looking at it and saying, "Oh, I don't think that's ever going to happen," realize that it will happen. The case is just of when. So keep your eyes open, and I'm gonna just post that, add the music or the little speech that I found from the Perversionists album, so you can hear what it says, and yeah, you can make a decision for yourself. Sorry about the length of the video. Don't close any tabs. Okay guys, just to quickly add this on to the end of the video, this is the track I was talking about from the Perversionist album, Buried by the Earth, which I think is quite in line with what I've been saying in this video about an earthquake in California. So the last track at the end is the hidden track, and I'm just going to play that. Whoop, not in my headphones. I just want you to hear what it says. This is from the movie 9, if you want to research it.
We had such potential, such promise. But we squandered our gifts, our intelligence. Our blind pursuit of technology only sped us quicker to our doom. Our world is ending, but life must go on.
And what's stranger about this track is it's actually 6 minutes and 4 seconds long, but after that, it's completely silent for the rest of the track. So I found that quite weird. The other thing is when they say technology sped us quicker to our doom. California is the hub of technology. They're all there. So without California, you know, I think a lot of the technology that we have around the world today would literally either stop being invented or stop working, because a lot of the main servers are in California. A lot of the headquarters are in California, so you know, it could just be another hint at California being the destination. Again, these are not prophecies; these are just interpretations, guesses, if you will. But you know, I think it's better to guess and be wrong than guess and be right in these kind of situations and circumstances. So yeah, take care, guys.